When I'm alone in my room, sometimes I stare at the wall, and in the back of my mind, I know what I'm doing wrong. I need to give you a call. I must be absurd. This life a game of dice, I throw my cash on the curb. These haters taking shots, they about to get what they deserve. I'm never biased in debates, I just don't care about what you heard. So hear me out when I say, every day's a good day, cause it ain't nothing but a word. It ain't nothing but a word.
What's up, everybody? This is Nothing But a Word, hip-hop debate show, your favorite hip-hop discussion. I'm your boy, DELATONE.
Sean Gray.
And today's the first episode ever. What we're going to be talking about today, we're going to be talking about the state of hip-hop. Is it in a good place or is it in a bad place? Sean, how do you feel about hip-hop right now? Where's it at?
I think it's poop.
I think it's poop.
Yeah, I think hip-hop is poop right now. I think right now it's poop, but it's always fixable. But
Okay.
Right now I feel like hip-hop, I was actually having a conversation with a girl like the other day where I'm just going back to like the 90s, man. Like the golden era of hip-hop. Like that really was. It's undebatable. It's an undebatable golden era. Like usually people can debate a golden era,
Right.
but you can't give me another era that was better than maybe 1998 to 2002. Maybe 1997 to 2002. That 5-year period was one of the best periods of hip-hop ever. You can probably go back to like the early hip-hop era, like where you had like Boogie Down Bronx versus Queens, 80s type time, like breakdance era. But other than that, like we just have these ebbs and flows where you have the early 80s,
Right.
and then we got up to like maybe 89, 92, 93,
Mm-hmm.
like when Tribe Called Quest, Nas came out. You have all these other artists, and then we got down to like where it was poop again. Then you had kind of like Jay-Z,
Where it was like
Rough
the
Riders.
Onyx and stuff.
Yeah, Jay-Z, Rough Riders, they came up. And then now we're at a poop era. Like you're gonna have, it's bubbles. We have these bubbles and then we have pop. It's just like any other time. We have cycles. So right now I feel like we're in a bad cycle right now as far as hip hop, and I'm looking forward to the come up again. So like right now, it's 2016.
Right.
We can expect maybe a nice 2020s, like 2018, 2019, maybe hip hop is really good. But right now you have these heavyweights that are carrying it, but what happens when the Jay-Z's go out, the T.I.'s go out, like these anchors of these different areas go out? Because I don't really feel like we're getting a better recruiting class,
Right.
and we have to wait.
I'll be honest, y'all, I disagree.
Why?
Like,
Okay, so tell me.
Almost to 100%.
So give me a counter argument to my cycles, because for instance,
I agree. To like the golden era, I think that golden era was almost like when they had Bird, Magic, and Jordan.
Okay.
Like there'll never be that many great tops, like again, and who could carry the entire league.
Yeah, but I just gave you like 4 different cycles. I gave you 4 peaks.
I agree with the cycles. However, I don't think the cycles actually changed as much. I think the only thing that really has changed in hip hop is the actual like who you're hearing on your radios now and how you're hearing and what you're hearing. No, but that's there you go. That's the difference. I think that also like back in the day, I guess Hot 97, which was one of the biggest like radio stations and still is today, they were like undisputed. And at the time, one of their best DJs, like he's still there, Funkmaster Flex. They had him and they had DJ Mr. C. What Mr. C was good for, I mean, he was Biggie's ex-DJ. Like, so you knew you were going to hear some exclusive, like real hot.
So you're trying to say that they're not known for music discovery anymore? That's another argument. Music discovery is no longer what's the radio. Where the radio used to be music. Like I used to listen to the radio.
We can think about the Drake beef. Where did we listen to his at? On his radio station. We wanted to hear back to back on his radio station.
Yeah, SoundCloud. I think SoundCloud, Spotify. SoundCloud is really a
Apple
big place
Music.
for music.
I love that.
I go to SoundCloud for music discovery. Like,
Right.
I look at the trending because it's about social. I can't trust Cosmic
comment
Kev. I can't trust because they feeding me trash.
They'll give you stuff that you like that's accustomed to what you've been listening to.
Yeah, so I go on Spotify and I'm like, oh, Tony's listening to
exactly
Britney Spears.
Yeah, exactly. I can see
Toxic.
what you're listening to. I click on the new stuff.
Yeah, but
I heard you too. Fuck out of here with that. But
no, but the point is that I feel like you're not really giving me art. You're just saying I don't agree with you. You're not really telling me why. So like,
okay, all right.
For instance, like let me finish my argument then. So like, I feel as though like we always talk about barriers of entries, and I feel like the barrier of entry for established artists is low now. So where you get these half-baked artists. So you got a lot of people feeding you half-cooked chicken. that's nasty as hell. So there's a lot of half-cooked chicken artists out of there because anybody can get on and anybody can make a song and anybody can be heard. Before, in the 90s and the 2000s, you had to be, they actually developed artists. Before you was going out, the companies make sure that, hey, you're going to make some money for them.
So you're saying the one-hit wonders are more known now than they ever been?
Yeah, anybody can drop a song. I can drop a song.
Okay, now let's. I made a list here of artists who are from, I guess, around the 2004-ish eras and down. All right, Juvenile, Nelly, Chingy, Murphy Lee, Silk the Shocker, Lil Romeo, Lords of the Underground, Sporty Thieves, Positive K, who I loved, but no one apparently else did, Master P, BG, Ski Low, and Kwame. If you don't even know who Ski Low is, it's the guy, I wish I was a baller, I wish I was that guy. All these artists, to me, were the exact same of what people were talking about with like, like lyricism is missing and stuff like that, and like we're really missing we're missing the old days and stuff like that. When you hear wobbly wobbly drop it like it's hot, you think classic, but you don't think lyrics. I mean,
I don't think that's classic.
Oh god, like
I don't think that's a classic.
You high?
I think that was like I don't think that's a classic song. I don't think that's a classic song.
I can't even.
I think Dead Prez or Politics as Usual or songs like that are classic songs. I don't think Wobbly Wobbly.
Okay, so hold on. So how about this? Like, when Juvenile dropped the song "Hot," like what's he hot? Like that song. Like I don't even want to like continue like sing songs, but like it's hard to even remember "Hot." Like like "Hot."
Yeah, but that doesn't make it a classic.
Hold on, but think about
that. Doesn't make it a classic. I remember the Barney song, but that doesn't make it a classic song.
I
remember Tipsy.
Classic,
I remember Tipsy, but that's not a classic song to me.
Tipsy's not on the level.
Just because you remember a song don't make it classic.
But no, if you went down a list of 100 songs that played in the 90s, Juvenile and BG and the Hot Boys and like Number One Stunner and all that stuff, that's going to be on there. However, they're in the same category as, I feel like lyrically, like they're in the same category as the Young Thugs and stuff like that. The only thing that I think changed in hip hop, which makes the state seem bad, is that the exposure that these like one and dones get, or the exposure that some of these club rappers get, is way more than the actual artists who put in work within their albums. Even though you don't like them, like J. Cole, you can obviously tell puts in a lot of effort through his art, like through his music. However, the labels don't really care about that, like, and especially like mainstream, like Hot 97, Power 99, 105.1. They're not gonna really care about that. They care about what your listeners listen to, and right now the young listeners want to dance. Like, so they're not gonna play the new they're not gonna play any new like Kendrick Lamar, King Kunta song or All Right. They're not gonna play that like on Kentucky.
I think your whole argument is one big excuse for why music sucks right now.
No, but that's the thing. That music's still being made, but it's not being exposed.
Okay, but it's being washed out. That's what I'm trying to say.
It's being washed out,
so
but you
got to take the game as a whole.
No, but
let's say
just because it's not being exposed does not mean it's not there.
Let me say like this.
But now you have more platforms for you to be the finder. You can go find.
Let me like this. If I have a cup of juice, okay, and then 10 people got cups, okay, and I pour a little bit of juice in your cup, your cup. That's the whole point of like the industry right now, is that there's only a finite amount of creativity that can possibly happen right now. There's only a finite amount of artists who can actually get to actually make really good music. But the fact that we have so many artists that don't take the time to actually hone their craft, and that's the whole point. Like, people don't hone their craft.
There's artists who do.
Like, there are artists who do. Like, we're not saying that there aren't artists who do.
But since
there's still artists who do.
But since we still have
hip hop as itself, as an average, you average over the amount of artists that you have. Unfortunately, that's how you do it. You average over the amount of artists that you have. Just like NBA, people say the NBA is not as good as it used to be. People say the NFL is not as good as it used to be. You average over the amount of artists that you have. If you have 1,000 artists in the game, you gotta take each one of those artists and you gotta basically evaluate their talent, and then you add all those talents up and you divide it by that 1,000. That's the whole point of it.
All right, well, no. What's your argument though? All right, how about this? What's it called? DJ Premier. Legendary like DJ, he's like what, like 48, 49 years old?
Yeah.
He just came out with a quote this week. He says, alright, these new artists, we're into them for a reason. The youngsters that's out now, I buy it all. He said, like Young Thug, Rich Homie Quan, all those type of artists, I study all that stuff. I don't do that style, but I don't have to. They're doing it. My younger nieces, nephews, and all that, they're doing it. And as older cats who like the golden years, we have to be students now instead of actually being the teachers. Now, look, I think that's the problem. Where it's like, there's a lot of things that I think that's a problem. Where it's like, what's it called? In the golden years, I think we were like, in the golden years, I think we were like almost like what's it called? We were almost how can I say it? Like almost like pampered. Like we were gifted to have like like the Red Man's Method. Like there was a time where like Red Man, Method Man, Scarface, Outkast. Like there was a time where you turn on the radio and you turn on, that's the thing. No, you turn on the radio, anything that they're playing was dope. Like it was dope. Like the first time you hear the Fugees, like it was like, oh dang, Lauryn Hill's solo shit. And you're like, wow. All right, but nowadays it's like, you know what? Let me turn on Dash Radio. Let me go turn on Apple Music. Let me go turn on Spotify. You don't have to sit and listen to the mainstream. So when people talk about mainstream, that's y'all listening to mainstream. Go find your stream. Now they're allowing you to find your own stream. And I think that like you have to also be a student of what you're listening to now. So like if you don't like Young Thug, if you don't like Migos, all right, well you have other people to listen to. However, or you can finally find out what they're talking about. Like instead of just thinking like they suck. Like, all right, well, why? Because they sound weird, or because you're old as hell and you can't embrace the shit. Like that's what it is. Like, oh, you like Tupac and that's it, and you don't want to hear any more hip hop ever. All right,
that's
closed mind. Talk about the shit.
That's closed mind. Like,
well, there's a lot of closed minded people.
I welcome good quality hip hop. Come in the door, make yourself at home. But the bad guys, turn them cats away. Like the people who suck, turn them cats away. I feel like there's no filter on who can come into hip hop now.
And talking about filter, that's a good like thing to go into, I guess, because I think that's the number one problem in hip hop. There is no subgenre. Like if hip hop has some type of subgenre where
I feel like that's a weak argument.
No, like how Kanye West, the guy we were listening to all morning today, when he came out and said, "Yo, was it hip hop is the new rock and roll?" I agree with him. However, the difference between rock and roll and hip hop is that the fans in rock and roll, they would never compare Metallica to the Beatles. They would never do that. The Red Hot Chili Peppers are not going to get compared to Billy Joel, and Elvis is not going to get compared. But listen to me. All right, so like they subgenre their stuff. It's metal. It's like you know how to break that stuff down. In hip hop, with so many artists, it's unfair. It is unfair to put the Migos in the same category as Locks.
Who's doing that?
But hold on, like think about this. When people say rap's trash, compared to what? So you're comparing to the golden era. Okay, that's fine. But then you're comparing what's on the radio in the golden era to what's on the radio now. So if you say Fetty Wap is hot, but you also think that Rakim, who also had a #1 hit on Hot 97 at a time, if you compare those two, that's two different styles of rap.
Who's comparing Fetty Wap to like?
Hold on, maybe you're not, but there definitely are. Blog posts do it all the time. There's always a debate in
every don't get me on blogs. Like blogs are the same thing as hip hop, where it's just a bunch of people. Anybody has a platform. Yeah,
especially with rap radars and all that. Like,
oh my gosh, it's so saturated.
It's ridiculous.
That's the thing. Like we talked about it. Let me say something real quick. Hip hop is oversaturated.
I do agree.
The thing about that is like whenever, so like I have a background in science, so I always equate stuff to science.
Okay.
So whenever you have overgrowth of any type of organism or any type of thing, you have these extinction level events where their stuff happens. So basically, when the dinosaurs happened, the asteroid hit the Earth, killed all the dinosaurs. We need an extinction level event in hip hop to wipe out all these whack artists. And that's the thing about like artists going to continue to grow. They're going to continue to grow because no one's out there. Like nowadays, there's like it used to be bad record sales. Hey, if your record sales are bad, you're no longer going to be in the game anymore. Right. But record sales are no longer a limiting factor on who can stay in the game. You can stay in the game as long as the fact that you could self-fund yourself. Before it was so expensive to be an artist. You had to buy your own CDs. You had to get your own marketing. You had to do all. It was very, very expensive. And the record labels put up, and that's why they had control over it. Record labels no longer have control over artists. So artists, you can actually self-fund yourself. Tinashe, recording in her bedroom. Jason Derulo recording
in the basement.
Yeah, everybody's recording in the shower. Like Drake talks about recording in the bathroom. Where would you want to record in the bathroom? So now you can just self-fund yourself. So there's no longer a limiting factor of who can stay in the game and who can't. Just like if you talk about politics, Donald Trump. You want to know why Donald Trump is still in there? Because he puts up his own money. Nobody's funding his his election campaign.
Yes.
So the point is that these artists are self-funding themselves. So there's nobody kick these artists out.
See,
So somebody
I don't have a problem with the artist being here, but I do agree.
Little B, why is he still making music?
Hold on, but look, I do agree with filtration to a point of like I agree. I think the subgenre needs to be a thing, but I also think there needs to be damn near like a police or some type of some type of site that limits mixtapes. All right, if you're an artist like a Yo Gotti, please don't bring out 5 mixtapes and an album in 1 year.
No, that's fine though. That's just making music. Just like Drake said, we make 300 albums a day. We make 300 records a day. There's nothing wrong with that.
I think that like Lil Wayne, as influential as he is to this like entire like rap like generation that's here now, what's it called? His like run, his crazy run, like from 07 to like 09, like that crazy run he had. He also plagued the game by him releasing so many mixtapes, and like that was new. Like people doing that. Now everybody does it. Like so, you get 4 mixtapes from an artist who you're looking for substance. You'll never find substance from an artist if they're releasing that much material, like ever. That's kind of why people wait to hear like the new Drake. Like he's gonna take 3 or 4 months off. Like he's not gonna be around.
Yeah, but he's actively putting in money. He's actively like
so the people at the top, they're also taking like you can tell they're at the like J. Cole and the Kendricks and even like the Big Seans. They take time off to put stuff. There's a lot of people who put out like a mixtape a week, like a mixtape like every other month, and I can't do that. Like,
and they watered down,
but
trash.
So I guess but what I'm saying, like the state of rap, I think the state of rap, there's still skills and they're actually flourishing. Like this morning we were just watching Childish Gambino. Like we think that like
he's an A. He's an A.
But hold on, there's a lot of A's that I don't think will get the mainstream platform. But there's no longer a need for the mainstream.
Okay,
platform.
let's use another example. So I like to talk about examples. So let's talk about sports and let's talk about the NBA and hip hop.
Okay, yeah.
So
great
one of the things that people talk about the NBA is the fact that it's watered down. There's too many teams in the NBA.
I disagree on that. I think the rules have watered it down.
But a lot of people say that there are too many teams in the NBA, so therefore you get these teams that only has one star.
Okay.
That's what I'm trying to say.
I know what you mean.
I feel like that's the same as hip hop. That's the same as hip hop is that there's so many outlets for you to put your music out that we have a total amount of artists. We don't have like really good teams of artists like how we used to have, or we don't have like just a concentration of really good artists like we used to. Where now it's just I have to listen to these trash ass artists to find a good artist like Childish Gambino, Diamond and Rough, Drake, Diamond and Rough. You might say I don't know any newer artists. That
Sweatshirt, Vince. Casey
these people are these people, and then they don't even get. So the thing about it is that they're getting crowded out by horrible people. I want to hear more Sweatshirt. I want to hear more of his music. I want to hear more Vince Staples, but he's getting crowded out by Young Thug.
In today's world, you can. It's not up to the main.
I can't
it's not
because
up to Power 99 to play.
I can't because they're not. They're going to be putting out.
Mm.
They're going to put out mixtapes, but they're not going to put out. They're not going to put out label backed albums. And I want to hear their label back album because there's a big difference between your mixtape and your label back albums.
So you want a big label. I want to
because like these artists can't really get their full vision. That's their money on their budget.
So you have a problem with the artists who have like the 360 deals that put out like maybe one mixtape and an album, and you'll hear.
No, they don't even put out they don't even get the chance to put out there because they're sitting on it. They're sitting right now. Yeah, they put out singles because the fact that they're 10th in line to put out their album because you got all these other artists out there. So what I'm trying to say is that I would love to hear a Vince Staples or Earl Sweatshirt album like fully. What is his vision with money behind it, with the production that he wants to have? What is his vision?
I think those artists also notice what I'm saying and take that other route. Like they take the separate route. Even like when I brought up the comparison with Young Thug and Fetty Wap, they're independent. Like Young Thug, Fetty Wap, Migos, they're all in 300 Entertainment. So like to say that is like, all right, well, you know what? Maybe if you just if you just pushed it, like some of these artists don't want to be on mainstream. Like you can tell, like Sweatshirt after seeing him in Made in America this year, it was like. His entire like set looks like
that's just like Asher Roth. Asher Roth doesn't want to be mainstream.
At all.
He was turned out.
At one point, he was
turned off. He was turned off by the game.
What was it? Asleep in the Bread Aisle? That was his first album.
Yeah, only one.
Yeah, and then he had Paps.
Was like, he had a lot of
Paps
good.
And Jazz. I love that.
He had a lot of good mixtapes, but he just doesn't want to like. He's just at this point. But the point is that there are a lot of good artists. I just feel like there has to be something that comes through and just wipe a lot of these horrible artists out, and it's just like. it's only gonna get worse because it's pretty much like World War Z, if you ever saw that movie, where like one of the zombies get in and then like all the zombies get in. So like one whack rapper got in and now all the whack rappers are getting in. And they bite other rappers.
But don't you think those whack rappers came in the golden era? Like,
I don't think they did. I don't think
early '90s.
If he was horrible, if he was whack,
Shockers,
if he was whack, a rapper was gonna check you. You couldn't check Mystical at the end of the day though, because he was with No Limit. He was at to go against No Limit. That's the whole point. Is that
like that whole group lyrically, like
that's the whole point.
What
though,
they do
when you was whack though,
when
you was a whack rapper, Cash checked you. Like back in the day, 50 Cent checked Ja Rule because he thought he was a whack rapper.
That's gone because now everybody there's so many different outlets to get your money. No one cares.
So let me see, like DMX checked Ja Rule because a lot of people checked Ja Rule because they thought he was a whack rapper.
like 3 people.
Yeah, when you was a whack rapper, people checked you. Nowadays, people don't check you when you're a whack rapper. Oh, he's whack. Let him be whack because that's just. I want more people.
People to call people up for
yo,
that
you
stuff.
Whack, and I'm gonna come at you. You whack, like get out the game, and we don't do that anymore.
Right.
We don't do that anymore, and like we need more exposure of the whack rappers. Nowadays, it's just that we let these cancerous whack rappers sit and fester. They sit and fester hip hop because what is cancer? Cancer spreads, and these whack rappers are spreading onto other rappers, and they become a whack, and then it's just horrible. And I just feel like
the number one thing I hate.
We need rap chemotherapy. Somebody needs to come through and just annihilate all these artists and just. We need some rap chemotherapy.
One thing that I really hate is when artists who had potential or like who are really good start doing some of the mainstream stuff, like putting auto-tune in their stuff and like changing their flows and something like that to sound more the mainstream. Like I that's the number one thing I hate. That's the only thing that I like, agree with, like the type of filtration you're talking about. You're talking about like an Ice Age. Like,
and the thing about it is that it's not rappers coming in and being themselves. Like Childish Gambino, we just talked about. He's
himself. He's true.
Sweatpants, shorts, and a cardigan.
He hasn't had a haircut in about a couple months.
And a low neck tee, like. But he's rapping his style. He's talking about what it's like to grow up as a geek and living in Manhattan and going to nice schools and the type of stuff like that. We have a lot of rappers that whack rappers that don't have their creative outlet and they just bite off of somebody like Young Thug, or they bite. I feel like Young Thug is directly biting off Lil Wayne. That's literally.
But he's openly said like that's.
But it doesn't matter that you openly.
But that's his influence.
It doesn't say like, oh, I openly hate black people. Does it make it okay?
Hold on, no. All right, how about this? Eminem's first album was Infinite. His first album sounds exactly like Nas. He wanted it to be like that. Once he started getting more, once the people started talking
being
to him,
inspired and biting. There's a difference between being inspired.
But hold on,
a lot of artists are inspired by.
I think Young Thug has taken. I think Young Thug has taken the torch that he made with the lollipop style, because Lil Wayne's different.
It's called biting.
No,
explain biting.
Listen.
He's about to explain biting.
All right, no, because I'm not, because you're false as shit.
Okay.
However, what Lil Wayne said was, all right, he did the lollipop shit. He was cool with that for a couple of years. He took it off. Then he said, sorry for the wait. That's a different Wayne. That's a lyrical Wayne. Young Thug doesn't have that part of him. He has lyrics inside of the lollipop type of shit. So he sounds like he's joking around in it. He made it his own. He made something of someone's his own. So all right, we're just talking about this.
That's called biting.
No. We're just talking about the what's it called? Joe Budden, his new album. We just played a song like that. I said, yo, it openly sounds exact. It sounds almost exactly like what Drake shit sounds like. Almost exactly like it. Even to the point where he was singing on courses. But he's been doing this.
I never heard Joe Budden
No,
sing.
he's singing on courses, but he sings with other R&B artists, so he doesn't sing by himself on it.
Joe Budden sing?
Yeah, he sings on courses. He doesn't have auto-tune, nothing, but it sounds like it's like he's singing his pain type shit. But I've heard it on mood music before. So can we say he bit?
Who, Drake?
Is it like that? Because there was another artist doing that. There was another artist in the mainstream doing that.
No,
so
it's the difference between. I feel like your line for inspiration and biting.
No, I think everybody has inspiration. I think everybody has an inspiration.
I think when you take your inspiration and you go too far with it, that's called biting. And I feel like Young Thug is biting off of Lil Wayne to the point where an artist is like, "Yo, you're biting me." To the point where when the artist have to say like, "Yo, you are biting me."
Say that?
Huh? Wayne. So you said Wayne never had a problem with the fact of how.
No, I think Wayne
how Young Thug is using his style.
No, I don't think it's a style.
So
that
you say he never openly said anything about it.
I don't think it was a style that he had.
But
a
I'm
problem
saying,
with.
did you just say he never openly said anything about it?
I didn't. I mean, I don't know if you do.
I don't have a quote.
If you had that's different. I never heard about that, but I thought that he had a problem with his affiliation with Birdman after, and then still like it was too much at that point. I think Birdman more being a fuckboy than anything of music wise. However, I think I just hope artists get inspired by the right artists. That's the one thing I like, because then there will be lyrical artists who get inspired by Future, who are from New York. Like, if you're from the East Coast and you're inspired by an Atlanta trap artist and you start sounding like them, do you understand why you don't get no fans? Like, how about this? You know what? You know what's a good comparison? Troy Ave. How do you feel about Troy Ave?
Come on, son.
How do you feel about Troy Ave?
I think he's whack.
All right, but why though?
Because I don't know, he's just not talking about nothing.
You know why? Because everybody really, really fucked with 50. And he came out and sounded like 50's little brother.
I don't think that's the reason why he's whack.
No, I think where he's from, it hurt. Like, yo, you're from Brooklyn, and you openly talk about New York shit, and you sound like 50 to a point where it's like, sometimes he sounds like 50 with like a pitch difference on his song.
So you think that's why he sucks? Is because he sounds like 50? You think that's why he's not?
No, yeah, because I think his New York City album was really good. But then, you don't think it was... Alright, well, you don't like him like that. But I think his New York City album was pretty good. But then he starts sounding more and more like when 50 like got hot. And it was like, Like, he starts singing in the songs and like he calls people out real awkwardly like 50 does. And it's like, alright, well, stop, Troy. You're not at that level. Like,
but back to the whole claim about hip hop. Like, you haven't said anything convincingly to tell me that hip hop is in a good state right now. Like, convince me as someone who's on the edge, who's about to jump off a bridge because hip hop sucks.
Because you're not going to do that.
Convince me why hip hop is in a good state and why I should not worry about this music that's supposed to embody my culture, embody my way of life, supposed to represent me. Why should I not feel bad about the fact that hip hop? I feel like hip hop is like trash. Alright,
well, the reason you shouldn't feel like that is because in 2015 going into 2016, we're at a time where, unfortunately, yeah, there's a few artists that come in who don't have skills. However, if you have knowledge of your hip hop and you understand music wise, which you like, then there are definitely a very big margin of artists who make really good music. Like really, really good music. And it's not even just one East Coast and West Coast anymore. Now you get to hear Toronto style. You get to hear, and if you understand how to filter that yourself, and if we somehow subgenre these artists where we don't have to compare Future to a J. Cole or compare Papoose to a Tyler the Creator.
But I think those are fine comparisons, though. I think
that's not fair.
I'm against the whole. First of all, the reason why you subgenre rock and roll is a totally different genre of music than
why?
Hip hop is born out of a sense of competition, so therefore you're always
you can't compete with the same people in the subgenre you'll be put in.
You can compete cross. If you're going to compete within hip hop, I'm not going to acknowledge the fact that you're talking about.
But no, fans. In a way, fans have almost ruined the way that like artists come out. So an artist can't be hot if he sounds like a trap rapper, because they'll immediately go back to, well, this wasn't how it was when Pac and that. Like, and if you haven't heard that, I mean, that's an easy barbershop talk. Like, immediately when you drop someone's name like Future or anyone from the South.
I would never compare Future to anybody.
But like, we're smart. We wouldn't do that. But these fans out here,
you gotta stop taking this whoever this hypothetical dumb fan is.
It's not one fan.
Let's talk about us though. This is supposed to be an educated discussion of hip hop.
This is your Twitter timeline at all times. Your Twitter, the Facebook. You know how many posts, and I've seen a bunch of stupid posts from a lot of my Facebook friends. Who do stuff like they'll put up a picture,
also, if you see this,
like,
if you see this and you write to Tony, we're gonna start. I want to do something where we start like saying some of these comments on.
Oh yeah.
Questions. So if you have any questions, shoot them.
Yo, find my stuff, man. settripartcollective@gmail.com.
Yeah.
If you have a question or comment or something dumb about this,
if you feel like maybe I'm on the fringe, maybe I'm on the outside, and because I think that my type of thinking is pretty much the majority thinking, but maybe. It's what you're thinking.
I think actually people are in between. So it's like they feel like you, but then they go too extreme.
Because I don't see anybody saying, "Yo, Young Thug versus
there's a lot of people.
Jay-Z."
I've seen a bunch. It was the other day. Somebody compared. They were like, "Yo, lyrically, Young Thug can't fuck with Pac." That's a
can't.
But hold up, that's different. But
he can't though. Like he can't though. That's like saying lyrically, I can't. No. Athletically, I can't run as fast as Usain Bolt. I can't. Don't put me in another subgenre. Light skin cats.
But
let's put
look.
him and Licensed Cats compete with all Licensed Cats. No,
But no.
lyrically he can't. Is it fact? Is it not a fact?
You're not hearing me though.
But is it not fact?
You're not hearing me.
But is it not fact? Just answer.
It's retarded because you're asking me a question. It's not. It's not. Like,
It does make sense. They're both rapping.
It's a stupid question
It's
because
a
they're in
question.
different genres.
There's not
You would
a-
never
they're
ask
both in
if
hip-hop.
you would never ask if the drummer from
They're both-
Toxicity could drum any better than the Ringo Starr from Beatles.
Yeah, you can. That's
But do that.
They
But like, do
that.
that. Like
I'm
these
pretty sure they
bands
do.
don't do
I'm
that.
pretty sure
No,
drummers
but
do. I'm pretty
do
sure
drummers? No, drummers don't do that. They
So
understand.
you saying people don't compare Travis Barker to maybe another drummer? I'm not into drummers, so I don't really know. So you say people don't actively.
They understand skill level. So it's like nobody's going to compare Marcus Teague to Allen Iverson.
Oh,
they
really?
understand they play that same position.
I would really
like.
I would really like to know who else thinks this. Like I would really like to if I could poll people and see.
That's the thing. If no one else thinks that, wake up. Because it's like
so you can't say that. You can't say that.
No,
They
like
don't
think about it. No, you're in the golden era. Everyone sounds similar.
Everybody don't sound similar.
No, in the golden era, everybody was like, all right, Tribe Called Quest. They rap different but their beat selection in New York, the New York beat selection from '93 to '97.
Oh, that's because you had a very few producers, but everybody lyrically.
Okay, so now we have more producers and more rappers because they got way more popular. So what do you say?
We had whack production, but not whack production. We had a subpar production, but the point was that we have toned down beats so that
I don't think it was
we have
subpar
better
production.
lyrics. No, the beats were very simple, and I like that. I actually like that. Like I like a one mic. I like what's it called? Illmatic, New York State of Mind. Like I like that type of like just give me a boom and a clap. That's all I need. Like, you can beatbox on a track and I still like it as long as the lyrics is good. But now we have all this overproduction where artists hide behind the production.
I think there's a lot of artists hide behind production, but you also have to take that like that's hip hop too. Production. All right, I think production has gotten way better.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
So now you can't say it's dying.
Before it was hip,
like,
it was lyrics, production.
Now it's production.
Yeah, it's production.
But you don't think it's going to tilt that? Like you talking about this?
No, I don't think you're. I don't think you're. Because
you don't think it's going to filter back?
Technology getting better and better and better.
You don't ever think it's going to filter
unless
back?
People just like really, I think it's the technology that's allowing artists to do certain things with the music that's making it really nice. So you see people like 40, you see people like Timberland, you see people like Dr. Dre who's doing this crazy thing. Yeah, they're doing this crazy because nowadays you have access to all instruments possible. Like you don't have to go. Let's go to the studio and record this. We have all this, so I don't feel as though the pace of lyrics is not going to keep up with production. We can talk about it another day. But the pace of technology, you're basically asking artists to keep up with technology. It's not going to happen. We can never keep up with technology.
I don't think that. I think there should be a balance inside the studios. But I think all right, we both said our pieces on this. Tell us how you feel on this. You can send us emails. You can also comment on this and let us know how you feel. Sean, what are you listening to these days anyway? What you listening to right now?
I'm still in a 6 right now with all my music, man.
Okay.
So I'm heavy OVO music right now. I'm anticipating the Drake album.
Views, that will be
Views from 6.
It might be in a couple weeks, man.
Hopefully in a couple weeks.
I need that.
Last time Drake dropped was what? November was nothing but what's the name? I know it was cold.
Yeah,
so
it was around this time.
So they say cuffing season. It's getting to Drake season.
Yeah,
that's Drake season.
It's Drake season. It's coming.
When leaves start falling. And
cats start wearing hoodies. That owl's in the tree.
Yeah, that's Drake season. So I'm listening to a lot of OVO, anticipating. I'm Majid Jordan. Like I would like to see. Come on, give me a full.
I do.
Can I get an EP or something? Like
that whole.
Yeah. So I'm
or
I'm
a Party Next Door.
Yeah. So I'm listening to that. I'm listening to Childish Gambino. I think he last dropped a year ago. I'm waiting for his music though. Yeah. So that's pretty much my area. What I'm listening to and watching a lot of Breakfast Club right now.
Okay, watch. All right.
So what you listening to?
Right now, I'm listening. I just bought Joe Budden's new album. Shout out to Marissa Mendez. It's one of the reasons I start listening to Joe again. And you know what? That album's really good, man. He put a lot of lyrics. We just talked about it. Oh, yeah. He put a lot of lyrics. On the album.
He's a rapper that's getting drowned out.
Yeah.
A rapper getting drowned out.
But no, I don't think. We'll talk about it. But I don't think he's getting drowned out because I don't think he also wants to do that.
Oh yeah, he doesn't want to, but like
openly.
He don't want to, but like
he's more. His podcast is great too. Shout out to I'll name his podcast later. That's cool too. But listening to Joe Budden's album and also Izzle Man, Hand to Hand. Shout out to you, Philly rapper. That's still my shit. I still bang it. It's dope. I fuck with that. All right, so thank you. You guys should tune in next time to Nothing But a Word. I'm DELATONE.
Sean Gray.
Peace.